Mm.
I'm Naomi Sara. This is
Silvan.
Eva. And we have Ingrid on the other side of the screen. And I'm going to interview today those three about the sexuality discovery space for couples that was 2 weeks ago. It was 3 days. And they're coming back with a lot of gold. And I want to hear about it. So Eva, you made it happen again this year. Do you want to start? Like what made it that you want to happen it again and you joined it again? So there was something that there was not something that came double. There were new discoveries.
Yes. Yeah. So my first sexuality space for couples was last year, and I could unfold so much regarding the my own relationship to my sexuality and what it really means for me, and then how is that playing out in my relationship with my partner. So in this space, I have dissolved many stories about myself and about what the sexuality means, or also like self-doubts that I was doubting that I'm doing something wrong because actually I didn't know the sexual force in me so much. So I started to discover that and get more familiar with this, and then knowing that okay, this is my flavor. This is how my sexuality is is representing through me. Like everybody has a different flavor, also women and men. So for me it was a big revelation in this past year, and I wanted to go deeper because I was really sensing that I'm just touching the very like a very beginning, like the especially that the sex and sexuality in the modern culture is so demonized. And I think there's a reason for that because like in Tao for thousands of years they use that for spiritual growth and for healing, and because there's such a big power.
Mhm.
And I have this curiosity, what is this power? So this is why I'm creating the spaces, because I know that it's first for me, like my experience is to go through some stories, like through the crust of like what I have learned, what the sexuality is, so that I can put it on the shelf or put it aside and then really start discovering what is it, like through my own experience. And I started to discover that, and I wanted to deepen that, creating the second training or the second sexuality discovery space, so that we can dive deeper. And it sounds like it's the top of the iceberg, that there is so much more to unfold in this realm of sexuality. So I have such a big hunger for that, really like for me very profound, powerful, magical force that the sexual energy is.
Mm. I'm curious because I've been in different couples settings and how did you manage it with sexuality? Because it's still a private like thing to discover as a couple.
Yeah, and that was one of the like what I really loved about this training now 2 weeks ago, that we were 5 couples, and from the very beginning there was such a vulnerability in the space and such an openness to talk about sexuality, to talk about sex, about our personal experiences, that it like really like this, that it's mine or it's just within the couple, it was dissolved. And that was so beautiful to see for me, like how much healing and bonding and community is happening just because of that we dissolve that sex or sexuality is a taboo topic. It wasn't taboo topic in this training. It was really so much openness from all of us, really, to talk about that. And that already, like that we could talk about this, was already healing.
Mm. And what would you say, Ingrid or Sylvan, what made it that the group just was able to fly from the start on? Was there a specific question or like, or was it something that was written in the announcement of this training? What prepared you to be such an open door?
Well, When I was driving there, I asked Hannah, I would like to really share, like, what is our limits to share? And because she has different boundaries than I. And I think one big difference was that was the point of the 3 days to discover sexuality, to talk about it. So even before, I already have this intention that that's like, if I'm not going to share, if I'm not going to be seen
Mm-hmm.
in my sexuality with Hannah, then then like yeah, so I've got 3 days to really go for it. So like so the intention made a difference, the space made a difference, the invitations from Anna about being like about like there was this experiment to let the current flow. So with your partner while everyone else was also doing it, the current meaning having an intimate moment. Um and yeah, and then talking about it, how was that? Everyone doing their thing, and we're like, it was for me. I was like, it was great. It was really cool to that it didn't have to be in a hiding spot,
Mm-hmm.
a kiss or whatever moment. It's yeah. So,
Yeah, I would just specify Anna Norambuena was the trainer.
mhm.
And with uh, allowing the current to flow, you mean when another couple shares, you just keep flowing it to your partner? Or
Uh, no, the current was an invitation to have a small moment or a few minutes of letting the current flow between you and your partner.
mm-hmm.
And so, which was, so yeah, we had, and that was one of the invitations that in life, in these little moments, some of the sexuality, some of this, uh, uh, into a kiss, a touch, thing can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not only specific for the bed,
Yeah,
like
yeah, no,
in
yeah, yeah,
general.
yeah. And then to go higher and higher. It's like you can have these little moments and then it can be closed.
Yeah. Mm.
And they can restart.
Okay, I'm actually interested. Ingrid, do you have more about the closure? Because I know this for me, it is important to have a closure for me to know, this is like the
Mm,
sexual energy I have with my partner, and then not to project it onto others or to notice, this is actually me sourcing it and not someone else. So did you have something about the closure?
What do you mean? What do you mean with closure?
yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay,
don't. I
so yeah, when like, or this is how I'm coming from this, that when I and my partner have sex, then we honor each other. And that is like, okay, it's like honoring the space we had together and that we each of us created it. And it also brings this like sacredness of this is what we create. And if we would go and create it with someone else, it would be different. It's about this is our space. And um
Mm,
it's like taking the sexual energy. I cannot, it's like if I don't do it or if I wouldn't know that there is like for me this closure ceremony, I would go and be so open and go into the world and spread all my
yeah.
sexual energy onto others. I would be so
Mm,
sexual attracted by everyone.
Oh,
yeah.
That is
oh,
what brings me this closure ritual brings me back to myself.
okay.
Mm,
Ah, yeah. Interesting question. It wasn't for me like a closure at the end of it. I did step out into the world with doors open, and we started from a place that acknowledged that sexual energy is everywhere. Procreation is anywhere around us in nature. Is anywhere from in small children and old people and animals and everywhere. So acknowledging that, and why are we holding back so much with that? Yeah, with the energy that brings so much curiosity, that brings so much interest in in the surrounding, and learning to know what to do with it, letting it flow, not necessarily grabbing the next beautiful male that comes across my path. It's not about that. It's it's acknowledging that energy, it's acknowledging that energy in myself and using it appropriately, but not putting the lid on constantly, and saving it for the sacred moment with my partner. Yes, there is something that I save for that sacred moment with my partner, but sexual energy as such is so much more than that.
Yeah, I have something about that, and it's like, these little moments I talked about. It wasn't. I think in general terms, what you would name really sexual moment. It was just like a moment of love. But in this connection, I could see that how it was for me, that my sexual energy would rise, and then but then my practice was to keep it like for me, like this energy is for me, and it's like alivening me, and it's like, giving me a little boost as such, and I'm not like going back into, I'm not projecting it out.
Okay.
And so it's been a big shift for me over years to be like, have a moment, and then just to be like, this is nothing really to do with you. It's just something that we did together. And then now I've got this tingle, and then I'm carrying on with my day, and I'm not even closing it. It's just that it's in me, and it feels, and it has a different flavor of like I want to have sex with you. Like it's
or I need you for being able to sense this.
Yes, totally. Yeah, it's a real different, like it's alive.
We did quite a lot, and that made so much sense to me. We did quite a lot circulating sexual energy, and circulating sexual energy to the heart space, to the crown chakra, experimenting with how that feels when energy flows. And within the couple space, when we were all together, as in the training space, we we circulated energy, and we worked with our partner within that context, and it was feelable in the room, the rays of sexual energy, heart energy, really connected to that, to an energy that is really willing to connect. It's the lust part is one part of it, but then there is another part that really wanting a deeper connection, wanting to know the other, this massive amount of curiosity of, who are you? Asking that question over and over again, in a way, who am I? And also, who are you? My opposite.
Yeah.
And that definitely helped this energy literally being in the room, being created in the room. I don't know if you experienced that in a similar way, but it definitely was like that for me.
Yes, and I have something to add to that, like that this what you say, Ingrid, it was possible for me, like this curiosity of who are you, who I am, and what can happen right now, because my fear was alive, my fear was there in the space. And I remember that I started that space with emotional fear of really being scared of revealing myself also in the group, and especially bringing that part of my personal sexuality or sexuality with my partner. But then when I could navigate that fear to rather, instead of this fear making me withdraw from the space, also from the sexual space, but rather use this fear to flow, same as sexual energy in my body, then I could be with this curiosity, as you said, and that was the whole training for me was about really. We had even the map about play and experimenting. So everything was the invitation for, yeah, let's try something new. Let's try something that is completely on the edge of my box, but let's go there because it's fun. And yeah, so it was a lot for me, like navigation at the beginning with my own fear of how my fear can be a lie in this whole journey.
Yeah. And when you say this like something new, it's something, this map was something new. And it's also in the fear rising of something new that you're doing with your partner or in a group. And then the result is my presence being higher.
Yeah.
Presence is the real like gold of the sexual space being alive. Even when you're in a conversation, something new is like, it's like I feel like it's a link. Yeah. And then to learn that, yes, okay, this is scary and we actually want this. This is the results. Like, yeah.
You want the scary part to discover something new.
Yes.
Being curious, feeling fear is actually the door.
Yeah,
more intimacy.
and also to find out about ourselves. We had one like this experiment that I really loved and still loving it, which was about sharing our fantasies and desires. And that was so scary for me, to say my sexual fantasies that I've never revealed, but they've been with me for years. Yeah, I had these fantasies, but like sharing them without this like, oh, I need to do something with them right now, but just to sharing them could connect me with what I really want, and that maybe like some of them I actually want to do, and that was so liberating, and that like sharing that also could allowing me to unfold the next information what was underneath that. Underneath that I was holding back this sharing this fantasy because there was another layer. Okay, actually I want that, or I want that, or I want that, and then at the end we have find out with Wojciech that actually we want the same thing. So that was so great, and that also brought so much more juice to our relationship, like so much more of new possibilities. That after 8 years of being together, it's like, oh wow, like yeah, like there's so much more to explore together. So, and we are doing that still, like this, like also sharing what I want now, and without necessarily doing that.
Yeah, because otherwise it would be what also people call psychic sex. Like you have sex and you are stuck in this inside film instead of actually being in relationship with what is going on, and then sharing it, and then maybe something can become actually possible. So it's you with talking about fantasies and checking, you make it to an experience in real, like in the body, instead of just mentally spinning.
Yes.
Yeah.
And labeling it as bad.
Yeah, and this allowance to like explore, like without, like, I found my biggest practice, and for you men that are going to try it at home, it was the biggest thing was not to start planning. Like, oh my God, she wants this, and then you're like, you start being like, where and how and what, and like, and then the space is just like, like it's just to able to just like go through the layers, like Eva said, to then be able to be like, oh, actually, I want this, and to be able to listen to your partner.
So is there any trick how to listen? Because I imagine you could get hooked by this fantasy or this.
Yeah, just see it as a possibility, just to let it go through.
It was a declared space. It was declared as sharing fantasies, not leading to anything.
Yeah.
So
okay.
For me, that was for me maybe the most beautiful part of the whole time we spent together, that this whole goal orientation got I want to say got dumped, but that's also for me, maybe personally. But this whole, okay, sex is about having an orgasm and doing that as quickly as possible or as beautifully as possible, but that is always sort of the end goal, and there's different pathways to that. And that story sort of finished for me. There is just so much more, and personally, without that end goal always in sight, like sort of a flashing something somewhere, there is just so many other doors that can be opened, and incredibly freeing, because I mean, for me personally, I think I've had, I don't know how many decades of trying to catch up with men and not quite making it in the sexual space. And yeah, incredible sense of relief of, okay, maybe I can put that aside. It's not about that, me trying to catch up with some kind of goal.
Yeah, I feel
I
that.
don't know if I said that clear enough, but that was for me a big essence, like a much wider space opening than this sort of quite narrow pathway to some goal.
Yeah.
That's the
And
ultimate.
I think it's an important part what you bring about the catching up, and because I also from the other side, I feel as a man that I've suppressed a lot of my sexuality because I feel scared that to land it into women, or to be with that while I'm in a sexual space, and I think the training had a lot of skills of how women, like the erotic blueprints, and how me and my partner are different, how all the partners are different, how we enter a sexual space differently, how what warms us up, what things during the day contribute to that space, what just all of these complexities that we don't always realize as men and women or different people, that us can be so different. And then once I can understand my partner, this is what I loved about the training to do everything with Hannah, was then I could understand her better, and then I could then all of my sexuality, my full force could land into her, because I could know where it could land. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, we have this exploration about different kinds of lovers. And for me, that was such a revelation, and also a liberation of like finding out like, oh wow, I'm for example the energetic lover, which means that like for like my doorway for the sexual space are more through the energetic layers. So more first like creating the sacred space, or like saying the desire, saying the want. So like first my energetic body gets alive, and then my physical body also gets alive. Where in a men's, or my partner at least, like he's more a sexual lover, that at first like his doorway is through the physical contact and sexual contact, and like this really the fascia first, and this is how he get aroused. So like knowing like that we are different kind of lovers, then we can play differently because we respect that. Yeah, okay, you are that and I'm that, so how we can now meet, or what I need, knowing that I'm the energetic lover, so how I can create the space for myself so that I can get ready to be in a sexual space without forcing myself, for example, for very fast penetration, or even just touch, like in intimate spaces, because most likely my reaction from my energetic body is like, no, it's too fast. So like knowing that and really like finding out in myself, then I can take a responsibility for what I need. so that the space can happen. And I want that it happen. So then that is only me that they can really make a step for that.
So it sounds like you prepare yourself then before energetically.
Well, that's actually already the sexual space for me. So like when I'm the energetic lover, it's like all creating the energetic space is for me already a sexual space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but in the modern culture, like what we have learned also from movies and all of that, what's around, like that sexual space is actually then when the two bodies meet. Yeah, like especially the feminine and male genitals meets, that's sex. But it's not. It's just one picture of what it can be. Yes.
Would you share also about the other types? There were
Yes.
4, right?
Yeah, there's even more, but we've exploring 4, I think. So there's also the sensual lover. So the lover that his entrance door is through senses. So like touch or smell or creating some beautiful things around, like flowers or something like that. So really the senses are the doorway. And then we will
might need the candles and the soft music and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Also preparing the space.
Yeah, and then this is even like
starting.
It starts earlier, so much earlier. Yeah, this space. And then we've been also the chameleon, which is the lover that basically is open and has no problem, like no strict preferences about the sexual space, so can easily like say yes for what the other partner propose. Yeah, and also each of these lovers, they have a shadow, so it's also good to know what's the shadow, because like for example chameleon can adapt easily, and it means it's not taking care about his own needs or wants, because it's so much a yes for the partner. So we were exploring,
and can easier blame, gives the responsibility to the partner, and then if things not going that well, can then also put the responsibility and the blame on the partner. Yeah.
Yes, or for example, like myself, like the energetic lover shadow can be that, oh, but this energetic space is not set up properly, so we are not ready, we cannot do it, or we need to clear this and that first. Like, so it can be used all as like excuses for the sexual space not to happen. So it's good to know like both sides, like the bright side and also the shadow part of it.
Would you complete the shadow side for the other 2? So for physical, sexual lover, the underworld would be you need to be showered, therefore I cannot.
I'm not sure.
It would be more
No, I don't think so.
sensual would be if I'm not showered, I can't. Because the sensuality of having a bit of sweat is just not going to work. And the physical would be more like you just can't go all over your partner before she's ready, because you're just like too ready. You're not like able to really be with that. The other parts are important, you know, how you speak to your partner during dinner, and like it's just like a real narrow focus.
About the speaking with how you speak with the partner during dinner, and I noticed that you bring it more that you cuddle with each other more, you have more kisses in the community space. And how has that been for you, or also for you, Ingrid? I don't know how your living situation is, but how is it for you to be like in a love space with your partner publicly?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, we Hannah, even before this training, we're like, yeah, we want to have like sexual encounters all day, you know. And it was like, but when I say that, like, it's small moments and of like, okay, what is possible just for the little encounters during the day and whatnot, and what are we reserving just for when the sexual state starts? That has to stop. You know, this is a massive line to be able to start a sexual space and then just to let it drop away and carry on doing your dishes.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've found in other spaces is, yeah, that even with you, just checking in how it is for you, you asking, oh, I notice I don't, do you want me to say good morning when I see you in the space? And just being like, yeah, I want to normalize this. And like those little conversations to normalize being able to be close with your partner in a public space and how it is for the other people. But the more we've done it, the more our boxes have been like, oh yeah, this is okay. You know, and also know what is, also have no more what is possible to do that is not like really erotic. It's just like subtleties of like whispering in somebody's in the ear, or saying what you would like to do to your partner, but you're not going to do it. You just you know, when you stand there, it makes me want to, I don't know.
So it's like I hear like both sexual energy in the sense of love to love connection, but also in the sense of physical sex. Like like there's I hear like two ways, or maybe it's low percentage, high percentage. I don't really know, but it's like starting with heart to heart and then having this moment.
Well, it's not linear, I would say. Like in the training space, we have this practice, the current that Silvan said, and it was like, okay, current time, and then all the couples started the current. Yeah, so like throwing everything and just really turning towards each other and just do whatever was the impulse now. And it could be like a whispering or touch or kissing or whatever. So like doing that repetitively, like becomes so like more natural that now in the public spaces, okay, this current happens and it's more inhabited in the body, that this is normal, and it's not intimidating anymore. It can be intimidating for people from outside, but yeah, I think it comes with the practice of like, okay, that's my space and I love my partner and I want to express it now. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we probably had, you know, physical touch and cuddles during the day and in public and with people around, and definitely in front of our children, with our children when they were smaller, when they're bigger. There's lots of physical contact that has always been a family culture. So I don't find it hard to show affection to Tom in public. And it can be on such different levels. When in the training space, when we had this let the current flow, it could be a hug, it could be just touching fingertips, it could be looking into each other's eyes. So these creating these moments of connection that within the ordinary day flow, so that it's not, I mean, it's such a, often the day connection is the logistic connection. Have you done this? Will you do this? So the whole day is full of logistics and nothing else. And then all of a sudden after dinner, there's some erotic thoughts are meant to come up out of, from where? From why? Because the cushions are nice and soft, or what? You know, what is the... So yeah, we're making quite a strong distinction now. We have no logistics in the bedroom anyway, but we haven't had that for a while. But also really make distinct spaces. This is a logistic space. We don't need to announce it necessarily, but say, I want a moment of contact with you. Do you have 5 minutes for a hug, or for just sitting opposite each other, or can I smell you? Just that, because it's just quite perverse that the normality is logistics all day, and then some arousal is meant to happen sometimes. So So I really enjoyed the snippets during the day. Yeah. And the acknowledgement of each other and the asking for a little bit of attention. I'd love some attention from you. It's quite nice to just put that into the space and see how that might develop, what that might be. Yeah.
Mhm.
Asking for those moments. And that is, this play and curiosity and exploring, or asking what are you thinking about right now, or where are you at right now? Just even have these minutes sharing.
So asking is one power to connect.
Asking is a big power. Yeah, definitely. Asking or sharing. I want to share something with you. I've just noticed something, or
Mhm.
Mm.
Ingrid, you named you want to have something?
Oh
Right.
yeah, I do. I just think what I've realized is that there's so many little impulses during the day, and Hannah's finding, my partner as well, is finding that she has all these little impulses,
Mhm.
and if there's not enough space, or if there's too many logistics, they just don't get followed. And I think this is what at the training was, that there's just all these little impulses for connection between a couple and a community. I think even it's not even just, and it's to learn, and I found that one thing that I've really got away was just pulling out a little bit more of those impulses, just follow, to be able to, and that space has created, like you mentioned about, like, is it heart space, sexual space? It's like it's so merged and interconnected that it's like, I don't even know what wins, and I think one invokes the other, and it's so it's like that for me. So people with a listener, I really encourage you to make space to find your own little impulses that you want to do with people.
And for that, especially, like, what I find is this listening, like really be able to listen in as a part of the communication. So like there is the space for the other person to say like what you want, like what's your impulse, and to not interrupt. Because like especially like I find like in my relationship, like this it's so tender space, so tender, and it's easy to get triggered when we are different. But it's to really like, okay, that person just really speak up what she wants, and I'm so like privileged to listen, because like I can find out about you, instead of saying, already having this fear, oh, how that will impact me, or oh, what I have to do with that now, or like all of that things. So it's really this art of listening to each other and giving a space for unfolding whatever wants to be unfolded, so that I can meet you there where you are. And if this will happen, of what we are sharing or not, is that another thing. It's like a second thing. But first is to really let ourselves to speak freely and reveal and share like abundantly what is there.
That's also about listening without goal, or speaking without goal.
Really giving that space. And then also, like, following that, what I've discovered is that the energy, like Eros energy, is like all the energy of like anger, fear, and all the feelings, like has all the time the information. So like when I allow, like when I connect with my Eros in me, and I allow the information to come through, like my Eros says, oh, I want now this, or I want that you do this, or what I want for you to do that. And then I say it, and then there's next information coming, and the next information. So it's like, and really, I don't have to think about the sexual space, I can really totally lean onto this archetypal force of Eros that guides me. And this is for me the place where I have no control anymore, or like there's no box restrictions, because, and this again, I come back to this connection with the fear, that I allow my fear to open up the space and not say, no, no, this I will never say, but I say it anyway because this is the information that comes from my Eros. So I bring it to the space, and that leads me to such a much aliveness, and also the other side the same. Like for my partner, when he allows him to speak the things that comes from the information from the sexual energy, and not from he knew what he likes or I knew what I liked in the past. So
really
then,
be now.
yeah, really in the now and really trusting this force that okay, and there is all the time discovery, because you never know what the information will be. That's the most fun part.
So you don't need to think for speaking what you want.
Yeah, totally not. No, but just really listen deep within and allowing this to speak, like through this energy, through this archetype. I really find out that Eros is an archetype, and I can lean into that.
Yeah, yeah, it's well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Thank you, Eva. Yeah, an archetype, another force, a force that's always there and is can so blossom when it's acknowledged.
I made this practice like since few days. I'm doing this experiment of inviting my Eros to my daily life, because as you said, Ingrid, like sexual energy is everywhere. Yeah, like everything was alive has a sexual energy. It cannot be differently. So, and I'm inviting Eros to my life. It doesn't mean that I go and I make sex or love with everything around me, or I masturbate all the time or something like that. But it's really about like there's some freshness in my impulses or like what I want to do. So like I'm using that archetype for like unfolding my day or unfolding my own essence also, because for me it's really so huge revelation, and this is why I want to go deeper and deeper and deeper into sexuality topic. It's like as we all did, like with anger, fear, sadness, and joy. Like this is another so big force energy that unfolds something that gives all the time some new resources, and this therefore something. And I'm just discovering really for what it gives me when I also incorporate sexual energy together with my feelings in my daily life, not only in bed. Yeah, or in a like dedicated sexual, like physical sexual spaces with my partner.
Yeah, it's basic life energy. Yeah.
I notice it in me in the sense of when I cook, I have a full yes to cooking. Like I am alive and therefore I experience cooking also within and not only through smell, but like being a full yes. That's what I notice with the sexual energy moving through me during the day. To choose the moment and then be in that moment instead of numbing. And the same with the feelings. I can cook and feel sad and say like, oh, it's not okay to feel sad. And therefore the cooking will not be an experience. But to be a yes for the sadness, and then I can be a yes for all the energy that moves with it.
Yes.
Yeah, one point I think for as a man to share that I think is really common for men is that this kind of separating the animalistic side and from the other parts of me. So the like to enter a sexual space with tension, even if it's tension during the day, and then to have to like be on this road, this narrow road to orgasm, is such a block for what is possible in between. and like what is possible in between is like also like all the healing, all the parts that might like come up, and then a feeling is there, and maybe, and to be able to stop and be with that. What else is possible is like this this want for all the other bits that can come in between, like the conversations, the just the sensuality, just being with the sensuality part, being in with the connection or the opening part, and to be able to like realize, yep, this animalistic part, and there's nothing wrong with you. You might have a space at some point, but there's this other part that I want all these other possibilities, and these other possibilities, I think, is what this training is about. To be able to be with all these other joys of life, or all that can happen when this energy starts to flow within me about anything, about when the sun in the morning on my skin, and it's like, yeah, I can be with this, and I don't have to go anywhere with this. I can just really be with it in between. And when I'm in that space, any space with my partner, I can be with this, and I feel like
yeah, it's like I want to eat chocolate now, but I cannot, and I can be with that desire. I'm with the sun on my skin, and I don't have to make a bigger thing.
Yeah, it's like I can be with the sensation of the skin on my skin. I don't have to, or the chocolate, you'd be like, I can be with the sensation, but I don't have to do the thing. And that's what, that's, yeah. And I can actually enjoy everything in between. Yeah. Be able to listen to all the gold that it has, you got the Eros, the whatever, yeah.
And let it also expand through all the bodies, because like often like this orientation on orgasm is like coming a lot from the physicality, but like this tension of like, okay, the orgasm is not about to happen, or I don't want that it happens now, but being in that is just such an, like, for me, openness for all senses, and also sensing my all bodies, like all the body layers, so that this is just very, very, for me, like multi-layer experience, multi-layer dimensional experience of, and this is for me personally what is the, if I would say about any purpose of sexuality, is like really to be in connection with all what is, like be so open and so slow in a way that I can be receptive for all these like little things, like the whisper here in my ear, or the sun, or whatever, the smell of my partner, like really savoring it.
And it sounds like easy, but I just want to say that my journey with this was actually to notice I'm so frustrated it's not working like in the movies, or I'm not ready that fast. So I had to be with what is. I had to feel through layers and layers of sadness and anger and fear, and to take back expectations I have on myself. So there's, how do you move with, let's make up the topic about feelings in sexual space. How do you move with feelings? I mean, maybe people watching this movie know about the new map, maybe not. Does someone want to unfold about that?
So the question being, how do you feel?
What do you make with feelings that, that are more destroying the space? I'm angry at myself, I'm not ready yet, or I'm angry at my partner, she's not ready. How do you move with those feelings to a space being with?
Yeah, I think the anger, I think, is every time is something that they're not asking. So, if I'm frustrated with the space, then I need to say something. There's bits of communication that are not happening. And I think another really concept in sex, that it's a really quiet space, that you know what to do with your partner when. and the feelings are there, like, and the healing. I think this is why it becomes so healing, is because we haven't done that so much. So then when the communication starts to happen, oh, you know, actually I want you to be here. And then they go, and then you go, so I guess the question is, what do you need to be here with me? Or I feel scared that I'm, you know, that you don't want me, or whatever. And then, okay, so how, you know, and then you like can like come together on parts. Yeah.
So speaking and then have reality checks.
Yeah, reality checks, and like,
Yeah.
what is the information? Yeah, what information is coming from those feelings? Yeah, reality checks, and just the conversation about that.
Yeah.
The physical part, and the conversation about what is happening in the internal worlds.
Does
Yeah.
someone of you add?
Yeah, we did that in the workshop quite a bit, that the communication part is a really important part too. And I find it really hard to open my mouth and say something in a sexual space, and to do that more is again very freeing, or even asking a question or sharing where I'm at, sharing feelings, going there, occasionally going little side roads and exploring what's in that side road, and coming back to the space. And again, that is allowing more opening. That's allowing more connection. And the fear at times is quite high, and the fear is the information. Something needs to happen here. It's there's a feeling there's something that needs to be expressed.
And I also want to share that my biggest like breakthrough with the feelings work in the sexual space was when I allowed myself. Actually, I noticed that actually I feel a lot of shame. So a lot of shame of that I'm not ready, or I have all these blockages, or I have all this trauma and they are in the space, or even like showing my body, or like many things. But when I allow myself to admit I'm ashamed, and really being with the shame in this moment, like all the sensations of the shame, that this is a reality for me now, then it started to dissolve, and I started to be more relaxed, because it's like the layer on top of the other emotions, like the shame. Like I don't want to show that I'm ashamed, but then when like I go through that, then it's so much easier then to connect with the emotions, and then the feelings that are underneath.
So meaning expressing the shame, you also speak from it,
Yes, I feel no shame, like in my body happens that, like I want to just hide, like whatever is there, but not to put that layer that it's not happening. Because it's such a big protection, the shame. It's like first like holding us back from revealing really what is underneath the shame.
So being with what is really about have a yes for what is, no matter which direction it goes.
Yes. Yes. And being okay also with the shame. Yeah, because there's so many things, like I think, like I was as a woman, like ashamed about so many things, because I have so many shoots. Like I as a woman should do that, or I should be like this. If I'm not, then something wrong with me, so then I feel ashamed. Yeah, but it's because of so many stories about how the sexual space should look like, or what the sex is. So it was for me a lot about like dismantling all that stories also.
Yeah, because you can only move together to a new place if you know where you're at.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
And this is such an intimate journey, because it's like really showing our the most hidden sometimes parts, like also many women I know, and they were also in the space that have been sexually abused, and that's a huge trauma that it's stored in many different layers and different bodies, and like showing that so tender and so fragile part of ourselves, it's creating so much intimacy already and connection in the space. And for us, especially women, like we mainly we connect and we are ready to like a sexual encounter when we are connected from heart to heart. So like peeling off this layer of shame or other feelings or emotions is like making that pathway for the sexual intimacy to happen.
Thank you. Actually, I have one more question, and it goes a different direction. Ingrid, you said about the family culture you have with being intimate with your children, no matter what age they are, intimate with your partner in front of your children. And I know a couple, and they say to their children, now we're gonna have sex. So don't like, they even have the door open if they want to see. So it's really untabooing, and then the children are not interested anymore. And I'm curious, how do you have that? What kind of family culture or culture with your children do you have about sex? Yeah. Because kissing and hugging is one thing, but what if it gets more intense? And then you also want, like, the children should not see everything, right? But how do you create a culture of not taboo but still private or intimate space?
Yeah, great
It's a
question.
whole other talk.
Yeah.
Maybe you open it in me, Ingrid.
Coming with this question now, that's a whole other big topic. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it definitely touched my edge when you asked this question. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't have that like, yeah, children can come when I make love with Wojciech and it's open. I don't have that. So it's definitely, I now already, so that, thank you for the question, because it's like, as like invitation for me to go and check what is there for me. Like for now, I feel like, oh, that like I have all the story, children are too small, maybe when they will be older. So it's really like a new territory open.
It's experiment for the week to discover.
Another topic for another training, like, okay, how to do that with like a children culture, and because I think it's a big topic what you say, because then they learn something through either closed door to the bedroom or open door.
Yeah, or I notice it just with me and sound. So sound helps for me to move energy, but if like living in a tent, that really works for me, out in nature in a tent. But then back in the apartment or community space, I know I restrict myself in thinking, oh, it's too intimate if other people would hear me in this ecstasy or in this sadness or in this anger or whatever. So also it also like the question is also in that space with other people, like how do you like one thing is letting sexual energy in me flow, but can I abundantly let it flow also in a sexual space where I know maybe other people can hear me?
Yeah,
Good question.
I find it such a liquid state. I mean, Evelyn sleeps in the same place as us, so and I found that scary at the beginning, that she could wake up and see us having sex, and it really helped. Hannah didn't have that story, and she was just like, yeah, I don't mind. And that really helped. And I think another thing was we have made the experiment to really kiss, to not hold back on the kissing with Evelyn. It's 4, and even there, it's just she's just been interested. And it's like, yeah, and I also really have a distinction between a lot of the stuff that I labeled as bad, like that people shouldn't be having sex, showing sexual around kids, was all the unconscious sex, all the hey baby, like slap, like a real, like it's not really being met. You know, it's a guy kind of coming onto a woman, and the woman kind of seizes up, and you kind of like, you know, even as kids, you're like, ugh. You know, kids can feel it, and I think that is a big difference. You know, when that's one of my that feels like a whole nother possibility when it's a mutual loving space.
Yeah.
That kids and I think I don't really know, but I feel like that's a big box letting go part of me. Okay, the disgusting part that I've seen is not what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's very interesting because I had like one moment I woke up as a child and I saw my parents how they would have sex, and I was disgusted by it. And I also know a client who had like the same experience. And what if we actually would, yeah, me and my partner, we're having this conscious space of relating and talk about what we want, and therefore if a child would wake up, they would see how to do it, and how both partner have a yes. And it's not like, because children, or as child would sense,
Yeah.
it's there, she has a no, he has a yes, or vice versa, or half yes no. That's so sensible.
Yeah. And for, I guess, for kids to like, what I would like to do is to just keep expanding it slowly, you know, for Evelyn. So she just sees a little bit more and more and more. Because if she sees it at one end and she's like, you know, without all the beginning parts, and she just sees really the penetrative part, I think she would be a bit like, huh? But if she would have seen the whole lot, maybe it's just an idea I have, but just it's an intention to keep broadening.
Yeah.
So maybe that's another conversation.
Well, it's a question to
definitely.
take away for the next month.
Yeah. Or even experimentation. Like, I really appreciate the question.
Yeah.
Ask the kids as well. How is it for you when we do this, when we kiss, when we do?
Yeah. Or notice how they, like, scan how they react when you do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I notice, I feel fear that people who watch this think like, oh, now we're scaring children away and it's too much. But that's not the point. My question is really, how can I create a culture where it's no taboo? And that doesn't mean that children have to see everything, but we can talk about things. I mean, maybe it starts at this small age already. Like I know a mother, and she is really interested in her daughter having being able to name in her vagina the different points, and not, there is, like in German there is this words of the shame point, or it actually has the name shame in it, and she brings this to her daughter, calling it Venus point instead. And then her daughter is touching herself while she's reading the good night book. So with that, she's already bringing a culture that when the daughter will have menstruation the first time, it's not a revelation of where is what and how. And that doesn't mean that the mother shows it at herself, but she holds the space for the child. So I'm coming from this, how can a sacred, not taboo space be held for children? I don't know about the time.
Well, we are 9:45, and I do have other commitments, so I would like to close the space.
Yes.
So is there any last word you have for you women out there, you men out there?
But I'm definitely inspired to create more spaces like that, like more spaces for
Yeah.
discovery and going deeper. Like with your question, like it's already whole new territory to dive into, and I think there are so many of them.
Yes.
So I'm very curious and yeah, really willing to go deeper. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. I have more questions than answers, and a lot of curiosity, definitely wanting to go further.
Mm.
And what Sylvan said before, the discovery for men and women, there is not just one way, there's thousands of ways to waiting to be discovered. So yeah, it's a lot more magical, a lot more interesting, a lot more a lot more curiosity in the space. Less frustration, more curiosity. Yeah. Voice your frustration and bring your curiosity.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I would say if people that are listening that are really interested or connected to some of the things that have been said, yeah, I'm open for contacting me. This is something that I'm holding space for in the men's space, and we'll be doing other spaces. So yeah. I'm interested and keen on the subject.
You want to keep untabooing.
Yeah, untabooing and
Untabooing.
doing it with other people and being like, oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. Like that's that, and then bringing the experiments and talking about it and sharing the joy of it. Yeah.
Well, thank you for you, Ingrid, Eva, and Sylvan to bring your gold from this training with me and me asking all I don't understand. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Naomi Sarah, for having a yes for interview.
Yeah.
It was very supporting to hear your questions.
Yeah, thank you. And goodbye,
Yeah.
Ingrid.
Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.